Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. We're here today with special guest, Rebecca Heidt, who's here to share with us her new book series, Acceptance. So are you looking for an award-winning fantasy book series that you just want to dive into? Well, today's guest is here to share with us just that. Rebecca Heidt is a celebrated LGBTQ author, artist, and passionate explorer of anthropology, history, spirituality, and nature. She is the creator of the Acceptance series, which includes The Beginning, The Reality, and Reborn, with a highly anticipated fourth installment, Reconcile, which is currently in progress. Rebecca is also breaking new ground as she collaborates with international production teams on a feature film titled Secrets of the Warrior, inspired by her debut novel. Her talents and insights have earned her recognition in multiple magazines, and she is widely admired for her neurodivergent perspective and powerful advice for aspiring writers. This has made her a sought-after podcast guest, speaker on motivation, mental health, and craft of writing. With a growing list of accolades and achievements, Rebecca has been honored with numerous awards, including ranking as number 9 in the iconic 100 Impact Igniters worldwide for 2023, celebrating her forward-thinking vision and drive to create a better world. So welcome to the show, Rebecca Heidt.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, what an honor it is to have you here and to talk about this book series. What inspired you to write this?
The series is about a bisexual, she's the last guardian of the tree of life. And she doesn't really know that until, later on in her journey, book 2. And book 1 is just her figuring out where does her mystery of background and her family is killed. She doesn't know who she is. Her uncle's being secretive. It's a self-discovery journey. And life is a self-discovery journey. Let's be honest. No matter how old you are, you're discovering something about yourself. No matter, your 20s and then your 30s, it changes. That's sort of what it's embodying, the whole series in general. So it's wrapped in self-discovery. It's wrapped in, it's called acceptance because in life, a lot of people react different ways that we don't anticipate or we don't like, but we have to accept that we can't control them or change them. It's very psychology. It's very, it's a lot of mythology. It's just, I talk a lot about grief. I talk about inhibiting yourselves or ourselves to be the best type of person. And sometimes there's lapses. Sometimes there's depression. And she goes through 2 really deep depressions through the series just to show how realistic being a human is.
Your Acceptance series has really resonated with a lot of readers. As an advocate for the LGBTQ and neurospicy communities, how do these aspects of your identity influence your storytelling?
Honestly, what it came down to is I know aspects in the story is what everyone in some kind of capacity, no matter where they are in the world, no matter what culture they are, fear is fear regardless of anything else. Sadness is sadness regardless of anything else. And so myself through multiple different emotions and also to help others who read it through multiple different emotions. I really went into the series no barriers barred, if you will. I really leaned into the things that people don't really talk about. Like when someone says, I'm sad, and then someone, their friend might be like, oh, I'm sorry. And then that's it. It's not really talked about. So I add in her thoughts to sort of give background and where she's coming from, what she's doing, what her plan is, and then connect it to her feelings. Someone said that I am a method writer, meaning that I only write a scene when I feel it and I'm going through it myself, which is why it's so relatable. I've seen a lot of individuals between 30 and 70 just love this book. They just can't get enough, and that makes me so happy. That makes me so happy.
Well, it says a lot about your writing when you really resonate with so many, such a varied audience, which I just have to applaud you for because it's such a very well written book.
Thank you.
Uh, oh my gosh, you're welcome. How much of your personal experiences are shaping the themes and characters in your books?
The experiences I go through, I put tidbits of them in the stories and the characters themselves. It's not really what Selena is most like me because it's like an alter ego of myself who is a little bit braver than myself. Like I'm learning from her in different ways. But there's little tiny tidbits of stories that I add. Like Skylar was telling a story at the bar when she was hanging out, aka courting Selena. And that was based off of a real story that I had. And I just thought it was amusing. Like I put little Easter eggs. I love history and I melded that all in there. But Melanie is my more childish, easygoing kind of personality, and then, like, Liam is my I need to protect everyone, and then Selena's, like, in between. So it's little pieces of me that I pour into there, but the characters are themselves, without me. I just add a little support.
Well, and so then the characters in the acceptance series, they reflect parts of yourself?
In ways, yeah. I mean, it got pretty intense, like, in the beginning, which is book 1, I was putting more of my personal different aspects into the character because that's just how I knew how to do it. And then when we got to book 2 and book 3, there was entirely way too many characters. I'd be like, I don't know. So what it changed to is if I was watching a movie or a TV show or reading a book, what kind of characters would I like to see embodied in the stories? So it may have started off as little pieces of me in each character, but then it got yeah, then it there's too many people.
Well, that just says a lot about your writing style to be able to incorporate all of this. So I understand, and I'm just kind of curious how this all relates to my next question, but I understand that you are transitioning this book series into feature films.
I
How
am, yeah.
that's so exciting. Tell us about that.
Sure, yeah. So when I saw the story in my mind, I'm a visualizer. I don't write it if I can't see it because then it just sounds fake to me. And so connected with that as well is I saw it play out in my mind as a movie, but I wrote it as a story because honestly I didn't know how to make a movie. And that was about 3 years ago, 2021, 2020, something like that. And then so I kept writing the story, and then it came to how the world is now. I feel like there's a little bit more I feel like there's not enough fantasy fiction in feature films right now. There's a lot of I mean, there's obviously the Marvel comics, that's fantasy fiction, but it's a story already being told. This is a brand new story, LGBT representation, and it hits on oppression and mental health and advocating, and I mean, it really hits some really hot points in the society. And just I saw the world as it was going, and I was like, the messages in the story were so imperative that I felt like other people had to hear it across the world, but not everyone had access to the books. Like there's certain parts of the world that can't get Amazon. And I was like, this needs to be a movie. And so I was like, let's make it a script. And then I've just been riding that train. I've been Steven. I'm the executive producer, director, and scriptwriter of the series, and it's really coming together well. I'm so proud of everybody. I've learned a lot, so much things, and the feature film is going to be phenomenal. It's going to be just what I hoped it was going to be.
Well, how exciting is that? I can't wait to see the film and hear more about this series. Well, on that note, we're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Rebecca Heidt in regards to her book series, Acceptance, and her upcoming film, Secrets of the Warrior. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
Are you an author, speaker, or expert who is looking for more publicity? Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up for free interview requests from shows looking for guests. Radio Guest List is the #1 free booking resource for radio, podcasts, and TV talk shows who are looking for experts like you right now. Visit radioguestlist.com and sign up today to get the visibility you deserve.
There comes a moment when you realize you're somewhere special. When you discover that each beautiful creature that you see has been rescued from a life of absolute horror and brought to this incredibly free place. Here's where their lives were forever changed and where yours will as well. Discover over 500 tigers, bears, and lions at the brand new visitor center at the Wild Animal Sanctuary just outside Denver. For more information, visit wildanimalsanctuary.org. Discover true freedom at the Wild Animal Sanctuary.
It's one thing to become attached to your perfect home, but what do you do when that home becomes attached to you? A family in dire need of a fresh start, a mysterious house tied to the past. Buried deep within the foundation of the old Far Hill Manor lies a centuries-old secret. Dark forces or something stronger just waiting to be discovered. Caretaker, a supernatural thriller by breakout authors R.J. Halpert.
Internationally recognized and award-winning author Judy Goodman works and teaches outside the box of limited thinking. Working with people from every walk of life, her goal is to empower you to be the best you can be, no matter what the challenge is. Born with the gift of seeing beyond our normal vision, she has an extraordinary gift of working with every challenge. Teaching beyond conventional wisdom, her work is described as life-changing. Visit judygoodman.com. That's judygoodman.com.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Mary Ann. We're here today with special guest, Rebecca Heidt, who's here sharing with us her book series, Acceptance, and her upcoming film, Secrets of the Warrior. So can you share with us what it was like making the transition from a writer to a filmmaker?
You, as an author, the stories are our children, they're our babies, they're us, they're parts of us. So we hold them very dear, just like any kind of artistic, licensing, if you will. So when I wrote the script first to be as close to the book as I could, I came to realize for it to be an actual feature film, I had to change some things. So you really have to be married to the plot, but not die with the plot. In the sense of that, what I mean is you have to be able to let things go or let things meld a different way. So, for example, my plot points in the book are the same in the script, and it was very important that they remain that way. The characters that are bisexual, the ones that are gay or remain gay, that kind of thing. So none of that changes. The only thing that changes is how it starts and the route that it gets there. There's extra characters I made just for the film. There's extra scenes. There's even a bonus scene at the end just because I'm like, this is genius. I got to write this out. And instead of a book explaining 5-10 pages, a description of a building or a place and a scene, you have to show it to the audience in like 30 seconds. So you have to rely on different things than a book compared to a script writing. And it's been quite a journey, and I cannot wait for script 2 and 3, 4 and 5. It's going to be 5 films. I cannot wait.
That is quite an undertaking. Going from being an author to a script writer, that is quite an accomplishment. Was there something that has really helped improve your story writing as you have become a script writer as well?
So being an author, it's sort of, you and the editor and potentially beta readers I mean, it's the same idea for a script as well, but because of there's certain aspects that make a better script than not. So taking advice with a grain of salt is imperative. Everyone has an opinion. There are so many people in the film industry, so many people, and across the world. And I mean, everyone has their own experiences. So it's a weird in between of staying true to what you want as the script writer and the director, and also seeing what their advice, if it fits and makes sense. So, for example, there were some main parts that some individuals wanted to cut from the script, and I put my foot down pretty hard about it because I was being true to the story and true to the characters. And so instead of taking those parts out, I just modified some of the scenes around it. So there's a middle. There's always, it's either take take the advice that people are giving you in kind, just said thank you for your advice, I'll take it under consideration. Or if they have a valid point and you don't want to completely trash the script and start over, then just figure out different ways to adapt. And there's always a middle ground somewhere. No one is 100% right or wrong. And that's extremely important to remember.
What really excites you the most about bringing your books to life on screen?
The stories, so in my opinion, because I don't know every story in the world, let's be honest. But this story, in my opinion, is so unique. It's so beloved, and I love how much people love the story. I've had a production house in Bulgaria. We're filming in Sweden, in Gothenburg, Sweden, and I'm hiring a seasoned actress from Sweden, um, and she's playing Abigail, and she's just phenomenal. It's a, different, she has a different background, she has different everything than myself, from the US, and she read the story and absolutely just loved it. And I'm talking about she read the script, she read book 2, she read book 3, and she's absolutely in love with the story. It's the fact that the story can unite so many different individuals in the world. I have talent and actors, actresses from Australia, Sweden, Bulgaria, London, New York City, LA. Like I pulled intentionally from the entire world because in the story, the background is a community full of different people and different regions in the book itself. So to represent that, and everyone says like, why don't you film in the US? Why don't you just pull it from the US? Well, that's not the point. The point is to bring in different accents, bring in different techniques, to bring in different cultures. And I mean, that's the truest thing of this, of where this whole film is going.
So, as an indie author and filmmaker, you've broken barriers and made waves in both industries. So, how do you see your legacy evolving as you continue this journey?
I definitely I'm going to write a novelle. The actress who plays Skylar, she's Australian. She wants to hear Skylar's background so badly, so badly. So I need to write it. I mean, they're all very interested in further information, and they're the ones acting it. Like I can only imagine once it hits the screens and the streaming platforms, how individuals will want more. So I plan on writing backstories and putting them in a chapter book together. And then I want to make it like a TV series, and somehow at the end, in the finale, connect it into the actual feature film itself. I also want to do a comic book. That's on my bonus, my, what do they call it? Bingo chart of life.
Yes. Well, that sounds pretty exciting. I mean, I can't wait to see what happens with this film, and your books are just so well written. Where can our readers and listeners connect with you and learn more about your work and be part of your community?
Sure. So I have a website, RebeccaHeidt.com. That's where you can find my books, and information about the film itself. You can also find me on Instagram, Secrets of the Warrior feature film. I respond to almost every message that I have when I can. If anyone has specific questions, I'm very happy to If anyone has indie questions or filmmaking questions, I don't gatekeep anything that I'm progressing in. If we do this together, because indie authors are going to change the world, and I feel like a lot of the things that I ran into specifically when it came to LA, and some difficulties of just getting information. I'm like, why is everyone keeping this information? So anytime that anyone, for indie authors or filmmakers or even indie musicians, I have contacts to other individuals as well. Secrets of the Warrior feature film. And then my personal one is Height Bristow Revolution as well.
Well, Rebecca, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Thank you.
Well, Rebecca, it's been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your book series, Acceptance, and upcoming feature film, Secrets of the Warrior. Make sure to connect with Rebecca at her website at RebeccaHeidt.com, and that's spelled Rebecca, HEIDT.com. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Mary Ann, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Mary Ann is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Mary Ann will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmaryann.com for more information.